Hey folks, it's Ryan here from Magus Instrumentalis. This week we're continuing our series of tutorials on the Polymaths suite, focusing specifically on the utility modules and the alternate uses for them. You can watch the entire series by clicking the link in the description. So for this tutorial we're going to look at the Vert module again. This time we're specifically exploring how Vert can be used to create contrapuntal motion in your patches. Now, obviously you're not going to be able to perform things like species counterpoint by just using a few modules. With that said, this primitive form of counterpoint can be a useful tool when composing music in VCV Rack. So let's talk through the patch. The first thing you'll notice is that I have essentially used the same voice structure as is given in an init patch in VCV. You have your filter, you have your envelope generator, and you have your oscillator. Very simple. I have duplicated that, and one thing I want to make clear is I've set the pitch of the oscillators to be quite low, and I've duplicated each of the modules, so each of the settings for the two voices are exactly the same. So this is a duophonic patch with two identical voices. I'm using the built-in VCV sequencer as well as the built-in VCV sequential switch in order to create a melody that is 24 notes long. This melody is then sent out into a quantizer, which is set to a major scale. The output of the quantizer is then set to the input of Vert, and the output of Vert is hooked up to another quantizer using the same scale. Both of the respective melodies prior to Vert and after it are sent to the two voices. One other thing. For clarity, I panned each of the voices hard left and hard right. Towards the end of the sequence, the first voice jumps up in register. This creates the illusion that the sound has jumped from one side to the other. The reason for this, again, is the contrapuntal motion created by the use of Vert. So, if you remember, as the voltage increases that you send into Vert, the output of Vert decreases. So with regard to our melody, as one voice moves up, the other moves down. This creates, again, a very primitive form of contrapuntal motion. One thing to keep in mind is that you can add a level of melodic or rhythmic independence by using something like a gate sequencer so that when one melody is activated, the other isn't, and vice versa. There's no need for each sequence to make sound on every single note. I would also suggest experimenting with sequential switches and clock dividers in your contrapuntal patches. Hopefully this tutorial gave you a few new tools to experiment with when writing harmonies in VCV Rack, but the best way to learn about these techniques is always to try it for yourself, so experiment, have fun, and I'll see you soon.